Hey there, it's Jason Gorman from Codemanship with another video diary update. It's Friday the 5th of June. Time certainly does fly when you're having fun. And this week I wanted to talk about legacy languages. So back in the 90s I worked in a number of different languages, some of which are still in pretty widespread use today, like C++, and some of which they're out there, but you don't hear much about them. Over the last few weeks, I've revisited COBOL for various reasons. The main one being that I think there's actually a big market out there for programmers working in COBOL to learn these kind of agile techniques like unit testing and test-driven development and refactoring and continuous delivery. There doesn't seem to be much penetration into that community of those kind of techniques. And it doesn't seem surprising when I asked around. It turns out I don't know a single COBOL programmer, and I know a lot of programmers. I haven't come into contact with any since I last worked in COBOL. So we're two very sort of disconnected communities. They're like the lost tribe, if you like. They're out there somewhere. They definitely exist. If you look on LinkedIn, for example. But when I searched on LinkedIn for COBOL, I found that pretty much all of them were at least 3 degrees of separation away from me, some more than that. So very much confirming that this is a separate community. And one of the questions I've got, if you've noticed, I've been recording videos of some stuff I've been doing in COBOL. And although the videos are getting views, I get the distinct impression that it's people who are not COBOL programmers. It's Java programmers and JavaScript programmers and C# programmers who are kind of curious to see, well, how do you do unit testing in COBOL? How do you do refactoring in COBOL? The answer is you can. But I'd quite like to get those videos in front of people who are working in COBOL today. So if you know anybody who works in COBOL, please point them in direction of this YouTube channel, and they might find it useful, or at least I'll get some feedback as to whether I'm completely wasting my time or whether I'm actually doing something productive for them. The other language I've been revisiting very recently is one I haven't used since 1998. And that's C++. Now, C++ has, for the most part, it's kind of been superseded. For some embedded systems and some high-performance computing, it's still necessary, and there's a lot of C++ code in operation out there that needs to be maintained. So it's not like COBOL in the sense that it's all legacy systems. There is a lot of new stuff going on in C++. But it has kind of been superseded by Java and C# and Ruby and JavaScript and all these nicer, newer languages that have garbage collection and all that wonderful stuff. For the last week and a half, I've been relearning C++. Bit of prescience on my part, actually. Sometimes I do things that turn out to be smart, although they seem stupid at the time. Most of them turn out to be stupid, but some of them turn out to have a point to them. In 1999, I was in Foyles, the bookshop in central London, and I happened to see this new book, The Complete Idiot's Guide to C++. And even though I'd been working in C++ for quite a while and thought I knew it pretty well, for some reason I had the urge to buy a copy of this book. I don't know why. I had no plans to revisit C++ at that point. But I bought a copy of this book and it sat on my shelves. And then maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I had a big clear out of all my books. I had hundreds of books on, many of them were obsolete. So, books on Delphi 2 and Microsoft Access 97 and things like that I'm never going to need to look at again. And I sort of thought, well, I should throw all these out. And for some reason, I looked at this and thought, no, I don't know why, but I'm going to hang on to that. Well, I don't know who it was for originally, who I was buying this for, who I was thinking of when I was hanging on to it. But turns out it was me. Me now. So I have found this book rather useful. Okay, the first 2/3 of it are really about C, but there's useful stuff in there about classes and pointers and references and all that kind of stuff, and make files and things that I'd forgotten about. So I have been working again in C++, and I've been thinking about posting some videos, but at the moment it really feels like I'm kind of pushing a wardrobe uphill. It feels like hard work, and I think I would just embarrass myself at this point. So I need to give it another week or two of practice. But then I'm looking to get back into C++, and the goal there will be to port the training material, the Codemanship training material, to C++. So then we're supporting eventually 6 languages. So that will be JavaScript, the most popular, C#, Java, and Python, which is very much coming up the rear, as it were, as a popular language. And then COBOL, hopefully, if I can find a market for that, if I can find an audience. There may be 1 or 2 banks where I've been speaking to people in their IT departments who are interested in dipping a toe into this water. So as I said, if you know any COBOL people, or if you're working at a bank that has COBOL teams, please point them at these videos. It'd be really, really useful feedback for me. And C++, as I said, it's still out there, plus the C++ derivatives like Go and Rust. So I think it's very much still an active language, and I'd like to get back into that. And I think that's enough of a portfolio. Historically, up until the beginning of this year, I've supported Java and C# as the 2 main languages that I demonstrate in. But this year, I think very much looking to expand that. So C++, who knew, hey? It feels like hard work. Refactoring in particular, even though I'm using C-Line, which has got some great built-in automated refactorings, I have been finding it hard work, and the refactorings don't work quite the way I think that I would like them to. And part of the complication is header files, that your class implementations and declarations are split between 2 files, and it struggles to do certain things. For example, there's no automated refactoring for moving instance methods, and I would use that a lot. I would use that a heck of a lot. So I'm trying to learn how to do that gracefully and elegantly and efficiently, manually, and so far I've been kind of failing. Everything looks a little awkward and takes a bit too long, but I'm hoping to get there. If you've got experience in C++ refactoring, or if you're a C-Line user, or if you're using ReSharper for C++ in Visual Studio, please drop me a line. I could use all the help I can get, really, frankly. Or leave a comment below. So, quite a lot going on. C++, I've been doing the COBOL. The other material is now very much in place and has been since the beginning of the year. And I've been, as you may have noticed, busy recording videos to back all of that up for TDD in particular. And the goal will then be to go on and record the refactoring videos in more depth. So we'll drill down into certain groupings of code smells. So there'll be 6 videos representing the 6 modules of the new refactoring course. And I'll be putting those out there for free, but you don't get nothing for free these days. To pay for this training, this free online training, I need people to bring me in to do training for their team. So I'm going to end this video log with a little plea. If you've been enjoying these screencasts I've been doing and you've been finding them useful, and if you're working on a team that you think could do with that kind of training, by all means point them to the videos. But really with this kind of stuff, it only really clicks with guidance. You really need someone to be able to explain what's going on and answer questions and demonstrate in more detail. So that's the whole point of these very hands-on instructor-led courses that I do. Very much designed now to be delivered online as well as in person. I don't think I'm going to be delivering training in person, or if I am, it'll be in a field from a distance. We'll all be outside. But I don't think I'm going to be delivering training in person for quite some time now. So online is the thing. Training and coaching. So if you're a developer or you're on a team that you think could use some input on these techniques, remember that's unit testing, TDD, design principles, refactoring, continuous integration and continuous delivery, all the good stuff. Then please drop me a line. That said, it is Friday, it is the weekend. In Britain now, pubs are allowed to open to serve takeaway, which means people are going out, and hopefully I'll be going out to meet a friend tonight for a bit of a socially distanced beer by the river. So some semblance of normality is returning. I hope it's that way where you are too. But in the meantime, there's always the videos, and if you've been enjoying them and you want to see more as they come out, ring the bell for notifications and subscribe to this channel. Lots more to come, and hopefully it'll be of interest.